Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. This is actually going to be recorded on both Aging in Place Directory podcast and Senior Safety Advice podcast and YouTube as well. I did a interview with Saeed Saatchi, the CEO and inventor, founder, of this wonderful mobile app called SimpliTend. It is such a wonderful app. It integrates so many different features. I called it the Alexa of caregiving apps, but it's actually two apps, one for caregivers and one for older adults, and it really works beautifully. You'll see that there's a lot of wonderful features in it, but I'm going to start off the video after I'm talking here. I'm going to start off a video with a presentation of the app itself. It's just a YouTube video of showcasing the app. And then we're going to go into the interview with Saeed Saatchi. So I hope you like it. I hope you get a lot of great information. I will obviously have links and to their website. The app is extremely affordable, so I would urge you to take a look at it, whether you're the caregiver, family member of an older adult, or you're an older adult yourself. I think it's a wonderful thing to have for safety, security, and so many other reasons. So I hope you enjoy it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. Actually, this podcast is going to be broadcast on our Senior Safety Advice podcast and the Aging in Place Directory podcast. So you can catch it on both. And of course, it'll be on YouTube. Today I'm so excited. We have a fantastic guest, Saeed Saatchi, the founder and CEO of this wonderful, beautiful mobile app called SimpliTend. He is on a mission, I think, to make aging in place easier and safer for seniors and, of course, their family caregivers and caregivers in general. SimpliTend itself is a mobile app designed to support both family caregivers and seniors in managing the care of older adults, but also helping older adults to live independently. So I'm excited to get into this conversation and learn more about the app and about Saeed and how he is helping to change the landscape of caregiving. So welcome to the show. Welcome, Saeed.
Okay. Good morning and thank you. I'm very excited to be your guest today. Thank you so much for inviting me, Esther.
Oh, I am actually honored. When I first took a look at this app, I was just, I see a lot of apps, I get a lot of emails, people selling me their app or telling me about it, and they have just a few features, but yours seems very comprehensive. I think it covers just about everything and more. It's the Alexa of apps for caregiving. It's one thing that has everything. So I love that. I love that. But I do have to ask you, what inspired you, to create this? How did the whole thing start?
So yes, like in 2010, I became myself and my sister. we became the caregiver for our mother overnight. We moved. I live in New Jersey, so we moved our mother, who had Parkinson's at the time. We moved her to New Jersey, and we both were working full time, and we both had a family of our own to care for, and we became caregiver. And it was very stressful. We
Yeah.
had to divide the caregiving responsibility between myself and my sister. Um, uh, but so that's how I got involved. And when I retired 2 years ago, I was inspired. I felt inspired to create the app so I can help the family caregivers who are in the same situation that I was.
So you're definitely coming it from the perspective of experience. You
Yes.
know what it's like.
And
And you,
actually, most of the features that we have in the applications, they're influenced by my own experience, what I needed at the time, and that's why we designed it that way.
yeah, I love that this your app, the SimpliTend app, has a spam call blocker, which I have never seen in any other app. I love the meal reminder, the medication reminders. I mean, I know those are all available in other tools, but not all in one app. So I love that. I think that that's amazing. And the geofence feature, can you talk a little bit more about the individual features of the app?
Yes. So um, at the high level, the application is a remote care application. There are two apps. One goes on a senior phone and one goes on a caregiver phone, and that's how they're linked together. And that's how we accomplish the remote functionality. Um, what's unique about the app is that it focuses on both seniors and caregivers. So we understand that, hey, if we have a remote app, that means that the senior could be home alone at times. So we promote independence and safety. So we want to make sure that senior stays safe while they're home alone. Number two is that we provide complete uh, care for the senior, like medication, meal reminder, all those that you mentioned. Number three is that we have support, online support for the caregiver, and these are in the form of like documentation and videos that we provide for the caregivers. So the whole goal of the application was to support both seniors and also caregivers.
What kind of videos?
We have self-care videos
Oh, I
that we
see.
we have on the app. We actually the app has a section for the caregiver has a section in there that every day we show a new article. And the articles are like, health information for the senior, videos, or some feature about the SimpliTend that we want to highlight for the caregiver. And it changes on a daily basis. But the caregiver can click a button and look at all the topics and choose whatever topic they want to review and learn about.
That's excellent. So it's caregiver training on top of
Yes.
I can't imagine anything else you could possibly add to this app.
No, I mean it was that actually came from my own experience
Sure.
because when I became a caregiver, I was Googling everything. My mother had Parkinson's. I was Googling, Parkinson's, the stages,
Yeah.
what do I have to do? And, so that's why I wanted to add this in there. And we're working on it. We keep adding stuff to the database right now, adding different articles. But we wanted to provide some at least resources for the caregivers so that they can get this information easily.
Wow. It's amazing. Does it also have an interactive where they can ask questions and then get answers? Or is that coming?
Very good question. This is, yeah, this is, so what we tried to do when we started, we launched the app last February. We launched our application, and I've been talking to different caregivers, and I've been talking to people who support caregivers, and they provided me great information. And actually, we have updated the app since last February. Actually, 4 times. We just launched a new update last week, and we are learning, and we try to keep the app simple.
Hmm.
And it was very important for us to make sure that both senior app and caregiver apps are simple. And some of the features that actually we didn't know how to make it user friendly,
Yeah.
we didn't include in the app. And as we're learning, so you have a great point regarding the uh, two-way conversation on some of these topics. And I think is a great idea. Once we learn how to implement those simply or user-friendly, we will do it, you
Yeah,
know.
and you're right. That's very important about keeping it user friendly because it can have all the bells and whistles, but you're right. If people find it difficult to use, then it doesn't matter.
Right.
So do you then, what kind of feedback are you getting from from your clients, from your customers who are currently using it? And I have to tell you that I think the price point that you've put this at is an excellent price point. You can talk a little bit about that and then tell us what feedback you're getting.
So regarding the feedback, as I said, I go to the shows, and also I try to go to some of the senior centers, and I sit down with the folks, and actually we have very good conversations. We go through the app, and they have given me great feedback. And for example, the meal reminder. I didn't have the meal reminder in the app when we launched it in February. We added it in there. We have added a feature regarding temporary caregiver.
Hmm,
Most family members, uh, you can't do caregiving 24/7.
right,
You need a break. You
right,
need to take a day off. You
right,
need to go to work or whatever.
right.
So the feedback we got was, can you add a temporary caregiver? So we did that. Now you can, in the app, you can select a friend or family member and put their emails in there, and they have access to the same information. They can download the app. Now they can see the medication schedule, their activity schedule. They get all those notifications. In addition, we have care information in the app. What that I mean is that you have doctor's name in there, contact information, the hospital contact information, seniors allergy information, the diet requirements, the daily needs they have if they need to, help to get dressed, or they help for meal preparation. All that information is in the app. So when the temporary caregiver gets access to the app, they have all that information. So the primary caregiver doesn't have to explain all that information to
Right.
the temporary caregiver. Okay, when is the time for them to eat, or when is the time for the medication? They have all those in the app, they have access to it, and it reduces the error, and the stress. I was a caregiver between me and my sister. We had to write things down to make sure that what she did, and what
Right.
I'm doing,
Right.
and what she learned, what I learned from what we were doing,
Right.
because every day, her symptoms were different. Every day, something was different about my mother that we had to communicate, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. As you said, the stages as she progressed it. Right. Right. I'm sorry you had to go through that with with your mother.
Thank you, thank you. So this app, it provides that information. It's all in the app. So the temporary caregiver would download the app, they have access to it, and then all the notifications will go to temporary caregiver. And when the primary caregiver comes back from their break, they can disable that, and all the notification comes back to the primary caregiver.
It's
And
excellent. Excellent.
you mentioned about the pricing. Yeah, as I said, there are two applications. The senior app is free. The caregiver pays $5.95 a month. We wanted to make sure, I mean, to be honest with you, the caregivers pay a lot of money out of pocket
Hmm.
when
Right.
they're a caregiver.
It's true.
And
It's
and
true.
you don't realize that, because when you're in the mode of caregiving, you just do it because it has to be done. And I didn't want to make the app too expensive
Right.
for the caregivers. And it's $5.95 a month. Um, the senior app is free. The temporary caregiver app is also free. So there's only one price.
Excellent. Keeping it simple. As an occupational therapist, I worked in home health for a little while, for a year. And I specialized in brain trauma, head injury in geriatrics. And I mean, something like this would have been amazing because you're right, walking into someone's home who they rarely get the same caregiver on a consistent basis. They have family, of course, but then someone on Tuesday, someone on Thursday, someone on Friday, and then sharing that information amongst all those people is not so easy. Like you said, there's a lot of notes on the kitchen counter, next to the medicine. This is what happened. This is what I did. This is what he did. So you're right. Having an app like this is excellent. I wish that had been around back then, but um,
Yes, me too.
yeah.
I,
Well, you've done an amazing job putting it together. What prompted you to put in the spam call blocker
okay.
feature?
Yes. So when we talk about the safety, um, there are like two levels of safety I wanted to address. One was the whole smartphone safety, you know, and because I don't know about you, but I get many, many calls during the day,
Yeah.
and there are sales calls, there are spam calls, and uh, we get ourselves into trouble sometimes, you know, and even, eh, eh, I had a friend, this wasn't my mother actually experienced, but we had a friend who actually spent $15,000 on Target gift cards from a spam call.
Oh my God.
That
Oh
was
boy.
it was critical for us to block those spam calls. And the way we do it is when senior downloads the application, they create a friend and family contact list.
Okay.
And if the call comes in and is not part of that friends and family contact list, it goes to the voicemail. So the senior won't get that call. And they can disable it. They don't, if they don't want that, they can disable the feature. They can turn it off and or turn it on. The other part of the smartphone that I thought it was important was, these smartphones come in with many, many applications in there.
Yes.
They're preloaded with many applications. Some of these applications, they have a lot of advertising in there. Some are banking applications. So the other feature in there, you can block from certain apps from opening. So
Okay.
so senior won't have access to those apps.
Okay.
They can simply use the other apps on their phone, but some apps doesn't open. So we have that feature also in there. And from the phone, again, from phone safety, one thing was important was the battery, reminding seniors to charge their phones. So
Oh, that's a good one.
yes, so we have in there, if the battery goes below 25%, the senior will get a reminder, but the caregiver also gets a reminder that, remind your loved one to charge their battery. So those three features mainly focused on the smartphone features. The other part of the safety was we wanted to make sure that seniors not only safe at home, but also outdoors. I mean, I'm a senior. uh,
Me too.
I go for a walk all the
Right.
time, you know, and sometimes, you get disoriented. You don't know where you are. So we have added a button, a pre-programmed button on the phone that is pre-programmed to their home address. So they can press a button, they get walking direction to their home. So that's one feature.
Okay.
And the caregiver would get notified that, hey, they're lost, you may want to contact them. Okay. Number two feature is that the caregiver always knows seniors' real-time location. So at all time, they can click a button, they can see real-time seniors' real-time location.
Okay.
Number three is geofence that you mentioned. So the caregiver can set the parameter, uh, um, like a mile from home or
Right.
2 miles from home.
Right.
And when the senior crosses that boundary, two things happen. One is senior gets a text message that is customized by the caregiver. You can put anything in there. Senior will get a text message. Number two is caregiver will get a notification that they went too far from home. So these two, the three features that we put in there to take care of our seniors when they're outdoor.
It's excellent. I mean, it's a full-featured app. Not only, I mean, I can see where all those safety features can help an older adult to live more independently, but at the same time, give the caregiver that peace of mind. You mentioned the list of contacts. How many contacts can be on that list? Is it unlimited or is there a certain number?
No. Um, so the 10, default is 10,
Okay.
but they can change it to 50.
Oh, that's a lot. Okay.
So you can be 10 or 50. That's also feedback. We updated that, since we uh, launched the application. So what we do on the contact list, key feature on the contact is you put in your contacts in there, but we also put a relationship there. So when you look at the picture of the contact or name, you say, okay, this is my brother, this is my friend. So that way, if they have some memory issues, when they look at the contact, it reminds them, okay, this is my sister or my brother or my friend that I want to call. So that's also included in the contacts.
Okay. So if it was, let's say, as you and your sister, so both you and your sister have the app on your phone, and then your mother would have the app on her phone. So when a medication reminder comes up, does it come up on both you and your sister's phone? Both of
No,
you get the same? No.
no. The caregiving is actually one-on-one.
Okay.
So one caregiver to one senior. So if my sister, for example, is primary caregiver,
Hmm.
she would get a notification. If, let's say, on the weekend, I'm caring for my mother, then she would assign me. Now,
Okay.
on the weekends, I get the notification. She doesn't see the notification. She still sees, she has access to the app, so she can
Right.
see all that information, but she doesn't get the notification. I
Okay.
will get the notification. And then when on Monday, she can switch back and she would start getting notifications.
Okay.
We thought that actually having two people get notifications, it may get complicated.
Yeah.
And who is, then who would be in charge? You know what I mean?
Right. Who responds?
Who respond, right? If I'm calling my mother and she's calling my mother, is like it's too much, it's okay.
It's true.
Who's in charge?
It's true. It's true. My my mother-in-law lived to 102. So I
Great.
can tell you that she would have been very confused if she had gotten too many phone calls. She wouldn't know who to speak to. And she would have thought probably that, did I already tell you this? Meanwhile,
Exactly.
she told the other person. Right.
Good
Um,
point you brought up. One other capability we have in there. There's a lot of small features that we put in there based on the feedback from one of our users. The senior, didn't want to see notification. They will get agitated,
Oh,
so there are capabilities in there that actually you can turn off the
the
notifications for
notification.
the senior. That
Okay.
way only the caregiver will get notification. And
Okay.
also the caregiver can customize the notification. Okay, I don't want to see the meal reminders. I don't want to see medication reminders or other stuff. They can customize that.
That makes sense because if someone, say, the early stages of dementia, you don't necessarily need all those reminders, but in the mid to late stages, you may need them, so you can turn them on and off, which is very smart. The caregiving training or information that you have for the caregivers, is it broken down by for Parkinson's, for head injury, for dementia? Is it broken down that way?
Yes. So we have
Okay.
right now. I have four categories. Like I said, this is something that actually we're working on, and we are keep adding to it every day. We have
Oh yeah, it'll be evolving for sure.
yes, the four category in there. One is that self-care, and number two is Parkinson's, dementia, and SimpliTend features.
Okay.
And I have tons of information right now since we just added updated the app. So I have to go back in the database and add more information to our database.
I'm sure you're constantly working on that.
Yeah.
Do you do you see any impact on all the recent AI technology that's coming out? Do you see that impacting the app in any way, or how do you see the two of them integrating eventually?
That's a very good question. I think the AI is going to help long term. Because let me give you some scenarios. For example, like, if the senior goes for a walk one day, for first 6 months and they don't get lost, they don't use the, direction button. And then later on, you see them using direction button, once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month. Some of these things, you can see a trend, you know,
Mm,
that, hey, looks like the trend is going up, you
yeah,
know, and how would that, maybe you can communicate that to the primary doctor that,
yeah,
now I see him, you can go based on the data when you talk to the doctor. I see him, getting lost, once a month, or I see him getting lost twice a month, or has increased, or he forgets to eat his breakfast.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
those are the things I feel that AI could help us, you know, and including it in there. The other part of the AI that could help us, that is what you mentioned early on regarding information that we communicate um, to the caregiver.
yeah,
It, it would be great for the caregiver to type in some questions, and uh, we have a backend AI that can go search for it. We may not have it in the database, but the backend can go search for the information and present it to the caregiver. You know,
right.
those are the other areas that AI could be very useful for us.
It will be very interesting to see. I mean, I can't imagine what the world is going to look like 5 years from now
Yes.
with the impact of AI. Um, I'm honestly just very blown away by this app. I think I mean I'm definitely going to be writing a few articles on it. You have a video showing the process of the apps on YouTube or on the website itself? Because I don't think I saw one.
You mentioned how the app operates.
Yeah, like the look of it. Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
I have a YouTube channel
Yes.
that I can send it to you.
Yes.
And we have many YouTube videos there.
Okay.
Part of it is, what features are in there and how it works. And then we also have how-to videos, how
Okay.
to how to set it up, how to
Okay.
set up the, caregiver, the temporary caregiver feature, how to set up how to block the apps in your smartphone. So we have a lot of how-to information in there. We have how the app works and the features of the apps.
Okay, I may integrate some of that in the YouTube video with this interview. Do you foresee any collaborations with I don't know, home health agencies or other companies to use this app for them to use it, or is it strictly you want to keep it as caregiver and and senior?
I'm open,
Okay.
to have that, obviously conversation. And I think some aspects of it could be very useful if we
Mm-hmm.
do with the agency. Um, and you know, even we can customize it for the certain agencies with our database, backend database. So we
Mm-hmm.
specific information for their users, something like that. So it could be beneficial to do that. Um, so I'm open, for that conversation.
I can certainly see it as a product, as someone who goes in to assess someone's home for aging in place, just like they're recommending anything, a shower chair, widening doorways, whatever they're recommending, I can see them recommending this as a tool. One of the things that I like to recommend are, the smart home devices, the thermostat, the video cameras, and the doorbell, anything like that. But I can see this being part of that tool chest of products to recommend, especially since it is so affordable. And I mean, my personal feeling is, there's two blocks to aging in place for a lot of seniors. There's one is emotional. It's difficult to admit you're getting older and that you need certain things and you don't want to make changes to your home. And then two is just simply the cost of making these changes to your home. So having anything that you can use that is affordable and so extremely useful as this is, I think it's a no-brainer to have. I think you're going to be very successful with this product.
Mhm. But the scenario that you mentioned regarding recommendation, that we already working with a few people.
Good.
So they can add our application on their website or in their list to
Yes,
recommend to people. Yes, that's already been done.
exactly. Good. Very good. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to tell us about this wonderful product? And I can't
Um,
wait to write an article about it.
what else? Regarding the just the senior care. Um, One thing I wanted to add was that so we have medication management, we have activity management in there. We have they also can put their doctor's appointments, in there. We have meal reminder. So all those information resides on a senior app. The caregiver has remote access to it because of remote care. They have remote access. They can update like a medication. They can add a medication or change the time. They have access to all that remotely. And but we put it on the senior app because again, it goes back to senior independence. So that way, when senior is home alone, they still follow the structured routine. They take the medication on time. They get a notification. They go to their activities. They see. So if they are independent, they can follow their own routines and schedule that apps tells them. Um, and but if they need help, then the caregiver would reminds them. So I just wanted to
Excellent.
add that.
Excellent. Well, Saeed, I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I do appreciate it. I can't wait to get this out and get feedback, on the interview and the article itself. Thank
Thank,
you.
thank you very much. I
Yeah,
enjoyed our discussion. Thank you very much.
thank you. Stay on, stay on.